Welcome back to part 7 of my Columbine series here. I do want to thank you guys very much for being with me so far, and you might have already noticed a few things different this week. I did find out a few things about my webcam. One, it was apparently very dirty because now you can probably see me not looking like you're looking at me through a fishbowl anymore. And also, I figured out how to remove the 10-minute limit on my webcam, so I can actually record this for 15 minutes instead of 10 now. And I also figured out how to make it not record in mirror image. You're actually looking at me right now as I actually am. So you're not seeing me in a mirror image anymore. So that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and get into a few more details about Chatfield this week. I'm also gonna go ahead and go into a few things that happened the summer after the shooting as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with that. There were like I said, there were some things I left out about Chatfield. One requirement that they had was everyone had to wear their IDs around their necks at all times. Always had to have our IDs visible. A lot of kids really hated that because they said it made them feel like that they were in a prison. And there's always people at the door asking for kids to show their IDs before they're allowed into the building. And there's always this one guy. Well, they're usually parent volunteers, but I remember one particular guy. He was this older guy in like his 40s or something. He had a mustache and he'd always be like, smiles and IDs, and so that would always make me smile whenever I had to go into the building. I didn't like wearing my ID as much as the next person did, but that made me smile every day, so I look forward to seeing him. And one other thing I remember is when us kids were taken on a tour of Chatfield. I remember going on the tour through the library, and the first thing that I did was immediately just look under the tables, see if there'd be a good spot to hide under. And the way those tables were, you actually couldn't really hide under them at all. They're really impossible to hide under because they weren't the same tables that Columbine had. So that was just out of instinct. That was the first thing I looked at. And the entire time we were at Chatfield, I can actually remember no one really using the library. I guess everyone was understandably uncomfortable with using the library, but I would still go in there and just hang out during my lunch break, read the magazines, be on the computer and stuff. And I remember one thing in the news that happened while we were at Chatfield was the wrestler, I believe it was Owen Hart. I remember when he got into that accident when he was being lowered into the ring and he broke his neck or something. I remember that being over the news and reading up on that on the computer at Chatfield every day, just because my husband says I have some fascination with dead celebrities, and I guess that I don't think it started with Owen Hart. It was probably just always a thing that was always there. So when that thing happened, I read up on that a lot just because it fascinated me somehow, just because it was a freak accident probably. But anyway, like I mentioned last week, before we started attending Chatfield, there's this table set when we're getting our school supplies and stuff. There's this table set up with a bunch of stuffed animals and stuff, and I mentioned Charlotte. I'm gonna go ahead and show you Charlotte right here. Oh, come on now. See, this is Charlotte. You see her name tag right here. Here's Charlotte. Yeah, she was the first one I got. I actually got a couple different stuffed animals over the course of being at Chatfield and that summer as well. There is one other one here. This little weenie baby here. Everyone got one of these guys. And then a bunch of us got this guy here too. You see this one came with a little message here. See if you can read that. And then I remember being in art class one day, and someone came in and gave the library survivors specifically this bear here. So to this day I still have him sitting on my shelf as well. You can see the little Columbine tag there, and the little message in here. Let's just take a look at that for a sec. And then one other bear, it's actually my favorite bear. I got him actually during the summer. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. My English teacher that semester was Miss Kelly, and I was in kind of this alternative English class, which I don't really know what was alternative about it. I just remember we did a lot of reading, and one of the books we read in that class was The Great Gatsby, which I admit I did not finish because I thought it was boring as all heck. So that's the only book I remember reading in that class, although I know we did a lot of other reading. And Miss Kelly, during the summer after the shooting, She took us to this poetry reading. I want to say it was in Boulder, but I honestly don't remember. I don't remember the reading itself. I just remember getting car sick on the way over there. I don't know why I remember that, but I'm someone who gets car sick easily, so I remember getting car sick for some reason. And one thing I had told Miss Kelly while we were at Chatfield was that I told her that I'd wish I could have taken one of the stuffed animals from the memorial, because after the shooting there's this big old memorial set up in Columbine Park near the school where people would leave stuffed animals and notes and flowers and stuff. And so I'd mentioned that, and then when we were on our way home from this poetry reading, she remembered that I had said that, and she gave me this one bear as a gift. It has a silver headband on it with a blue sweater. Let me go ahead and show her here. I immediately named her Chloe. So 15 years later, I still have Chloe here, and she, just like with all the other animals, she sits on my shelf across the bedroom from me. Let me go ahead and fix her sweater here. So yeah, I always remember Miss Kelly for giving me Chloe here. She's brought me a lot of comfort over the years, and oh yeah, brain fart again. Sorry guys. One other thing I remember a lot from Chatfield is people would always be donating stuff like school supplies, just stuff and stuff, and some of the kids kind of got, how do I put it? Some kids kind of got jaded by it, because I'd hear some kids say, "Oh yay, more free crap," and I'd try to ignore them, but anyway, yeah, and there's a lot of religious groups who would try to give us stuff, but they weren't allowed on school grounds, so they'd be sitting there right outside the school grounds handing out free T-shirts and stuff. So I have this small pile of T-shirt of Columbine related T-shirts that I got after the shooting, and those are actually packed away in my closet right now. I don't wear them anymore for obvious reasons, but I did used to wear them a lot after the shooting. But anyway, I do still have those. I still got my pile of stuffed animals here that I got after the shooting. And, oh, let me think. Okay. Oh, yeah, I mentioned this in the comments on part 6B. Someone had asked me if, if I'd gone back into the library after the shooting, and the answer to that is yes. I got this letter from the sheriff's office inviting me to do a walkthrough in the library with some people from the sheriff's department, so just to give them an idea of what happened where, all that stuff. So I believe it was on June 1st or June 2nd, me and Mom, we went over to the school, and they had everyone's stuff in these garbage bags lined up in the gym, so people could actually pick up their backpacks and stuff again. I went into the gym first, got my the garbage bag that had my duffel bag and stuff in it. We went over to the library and walked in, and it was actually very surreal going into the library, because it was the only lighting in there was the actual light bulbs from overhead. It was because the windows, they were all shattered, so of course they were all boarded up. So it was very strange not having any of that natural light come into the library. It was very strange just having the light bulbs at the library, and I didn't really walk around the library at all. I just went straight to the back of the library, up to the table where I was at first, dropped my duffel bag back into its spot where it was. The newspaper that I was reading was still on the table. I walked over to the long computer table. I pointed out the cubby where I thought I'd been, and then I saw some stains in there, and I asked the sheriff's deputy, "Is that blood?" And he said, "Yeah." And then I moved over one more to the right. I was like, "No, this is the one. This is the one." And well, there were also name tags everywhere detailing where people were, and you can see the blood stains on the floor and the scorch marks on the carpet from the pipe bombs and everything. And it was at that moment that I realized that someone else had actually been to Casey's right. That wasn't just me and her at that table. Someone else had been on Casey's right, and that was Steve Kernow. And to this day, I swear I did not see him at all. I only saw Casey. I wasn't even looking around to see if there's anybody else there. And it was also then that I noticed that